Well, hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode 83. I'm Emily McDermott, and I'm here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Well, it is an interesting misconception about minimalists like myself that we are allergic to stuff and allergic to spending money. That is actually not true. We just like to spend our money intentionally and on the things and experiences that make the most impact in our lives. And today I am sharing with you, we're having kind of like a favorite things episode, which always makes me think of The Sound of Music. These are a few of my favorite things. You can tell that I can't sing very well. Anyway, we're going to go through the top 5 things that have helped me declutter my life. And some of these are digital, some of these are physical, and we're going to go from free to paid and everything in between. So I know you're going to love this episode. And so what do you say? Why don't you grab that notebook and pen and let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, Mama. Are you tired of all the stuff crowding your home, calendar, and mind? Do you wish you could say goodbye to the endless to-do list running around in your head? Want to declutter but don't know where to start? You're in the right place. Welcome to Moms Overcoming Overwhelm, where you will find proven and practical solutions to declutter your home, head, and heart. Hi, I'm Emily, a wife, boy mom, and simplicity seeker. I struggled to get pregnant and felt overwhelmed until I discovered decluttering could create the physical and emotional space I needed to become a mom. Now, 2 kids later, I've transformed my life and motherhood by developing simple systems around decluttering, capsule wardrobes, kid stuff, cleaning and tidying, meal planning, time management, and more, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you're ready to reclaim the time and energy you crave, be present with your kids, and finally enjoy the life and motherhood you so deserve, let's kick overwhelm to the curb, shall we? Grab your lukewarm coffee, your notebook and pen, and clear off some counter space. Let's do this. Before we jump into my favorite things, just a reminder that we're having a giveaway between now and the end of the month. And by leaving a written review in Apple Podcasts, you can be in the running to win an autographed copy of my book, Little One. So check out the show notes for more information. Also, we're going to be starting some new decluttering challenges in January, and I have been trying to accept members to the group. I'm a little bit behind, but I promise I will catch up just in time, definitely for some of those challenges coming up. So if you haven't already, go ahead over to tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm and join the group so we can do those decluttering challenges together. Also, make sure you check out the show notes today because I am going to be referencing a lot of previous episodes, and all of those will be linked in the show notes today. Okay, let's dive into my favorite things. I'm so excited. Like I said, we're going to start with the things that are free, and thing number 1 is buy nothing groups. Now, if you're not familiar with buy nothing groups, they are hyper-local groups that allow you to bless your neighbors with things that you don't need. And also you can request things as far as if you needed to borrow something, for example, which seems like a lost art nowadays. And I talk a little bit about this in episode 47 when I talked to Melanie Wegner about Facebook Marketplace versus Buy Nothing groups. I'm also going to link to a blog post about why I love them so much, but they are Facebook based and it's a great way to know your neighbors, and it's a great way to get rid of stuff easily because you don't deal with as many flaky people as I find you do with Facebook Marketplace. So that is my number 1 thing on the list. And again, that is free. You just search for it on Facebook. Okay, thing number 2 is the AnyList app. And there is a free and a paid version. And it is what I use for meal planning, for grocery shopping, and also for keeping all of my recipes in one place. I absolutely love it. So I have a favorite shopping list, which is what I use each week when I'm doing my Grocery shopping planning, you can filter it down by store. So if some things I prefer to get at Costco versus the grocery store, you can filter it that way. I can share the list with my husband. So back before we had kids, we would be in the grocery store and we would kind of like divide and conquer and see who could cross things off the list the fastest. And it syncs up so you can see in real time the things getting crossed off the list, which is pretty cool. And also, I love how I can go to any website and import the recipe directly to any list. Then I can add it to a collection for recipes like my brainless crowd pleasers list. It's just super cool. So I would recommend checking that out. I do talk a little bit more about this in episode 81 and also the conversation in episode 41 with Lauren White, where we talk all about meal planning. So make sure you check those out. Okay, my third favorite thing is Color Guru. And I have talked about this a couple different times. I actually am going to have the CEO, Jeannie, on the podcast coming up pretty soon. And the best way that I can declutter my life is simplifying my wardrobe. We've talked about this a lot in episode 20 about capsule wardrobes, episode 33 with Jennifer Mackey Mary from Everyday Style, and also episode 55 about decluttering your closet. Now, our wardrobe should be what fits us now and what we love now. And how do we decide what to keep? Well, obviously what fits us, what is our style, but also color. And if we're able to shop color first, then it reduces our decision fatigue, makes it easy to get dressed. So Color Guru actually does a pretty detailed color analysis for you and also gives you this like 15-page report, super cool. And you also get your color cards that you can bring with you when you go shopping. And I do that also, helps me with clothing, makeup. They even have it for nail polish. So if you want to find out more, check out the show notes. I have a code for 10% off with the code overwhelm. So check that out in the show notes, but I highly recommend it. Moving right along to my favorite thing, number 4, is my planner. And we're definitely in the time of year where people are looking for planners for 2024. I know that there's a lot out there. I've heard great things about several of them. I know that Emily Lay has one. I think it's called the Simplified Planner. I know that Chelsea Jo Moore, who I'll talk about in a little bit from Systemize Your Life, she loves the Horatio Planner. I love the Thriving in Motherhood Planner. Jessica Jackson from the Thriving in Motherhood podcast is a friend of mine. She's also my coach. I do monthly coaching with her. And she actually was on episode 45, The 3 Levels of Overwhelm. So that's a really great episode. But I love her planner. I use the hourly one, and it includes several helpful things. First of all, your vision planning and goal planning, but also we do these monthly reviews where I can see what I actually did the previous month, even if it feels like it did nothing. Looking back, I can say, oh, wow, I actually did some things. Also, there's the context-based to-dos. So if I know I'm going on errands, I can kind of put all those together in my planner. If I have things to do on the computer, put those all in my planner in one place. There's also habit tracking, and she just introduced pages for charting and having your daily rhythms. So I would highly recommend her planner. You can go ahead and check out the show notes for more information about that. I also talk about this in episode 67, 5 daily non-negotiable habits that combat my anxiety and overwhelm, as well as in episode 78 with Sarah Horgan from Simple and Intentional, where we talk all about intentional planning. Okay, and the last thing number 5, is definitely the most expensive, I think well worth it, the Systemize Your Life Academy with Chelsea Jo Moore. Now, if you prefer and you don't know anything about Chelsea Jo, highly recommend her podcast, Systemize Your Life. I'm hoping to have her as a guest on the podcast soon, but this has really transformed my relationship with planning and with time, with to-do lists. I do her time blocking method. She talks about tidy cues, which is really helpful. It's kind of like what prompts you to do your resets. Also, making sure your non-negotiable fundamental needs end up in your planner. Now, in episode 40 about to-do lists and how a lot of times people stop at the brain dump stage of a to-do list, I talk a lot about what I've learned from Chelsea Jo. And so I would highly recommend her program. If you have any questions about it, because it is an investment, please ask me. And so that is my number 5. But I have a bonus one. Yay! So the bonus, number 6, is the Notes app in my phone, which I have an iPhone, and I'm sure it's similar for Androids as well. But this is free, obviously, if you have the phone. And I use the Notes app as my main way of keeping things electronically and also scanning documents directly to the Notes app in my phone. It's super simple. If you go to the Notes app and you click on the camera thing, you can say, I want to either take a photo or scan a document, and the scanning takes like a second. I talk about this in episode 28. Are you constantly shuffling around piles of paper? Steal my no-fail paper processing routine, where I also talk about kids' artwork, which of course is a major issue, right? Knowing what to do with kids' artwork, and also their schoolwork and their school papers and all of those things. So I would highly recommend the Notes app in your phone. And so there you have it. Those are my 5 favorite things, and you can get all the links for those in the show notes. So we're going to go ahead and review those real quick. Number 1, Buy Nothing Group. Number 2, the AnyList app. Number 3, Color Guru. Number 4, the Thriving in Motherhood Planner. Number 5, Systemize Your Life Academy. And the bonus one, the Notes app on your phone. So I hope that this was really helpful for you. Again, it's okay, even if you're decluttering, to have products and things that make your life easier, and these have been the most helpful for me. So on Thursday, we're going to be talking to Michelle Grosser. She's at the Calm Mom podcast. We have a fantastic conversation all about dysregulation and emotional regulation, what we can do to actually return our bodies to a regulated state when we are feeling dysregulated and overwhelmed because of our kids and other things going on. So I know you're going to love that conversation, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye for now. If you like today's podcast, here's what you can do. Just take 30 seconds to leave me a review. I know you're a busy mama. You're overwhelmed, in fact, but 30 seconds of your day makes such an impact. I'll be blessed by your words. They'll definitely make my day. And who knows, you might be entered for this month's giveaway. In Apple Podcasts, scroll down to write a review. Thanks so much for your time. I'm so grateful for you.